The Simpsons are legendary. Going strong for over 35 years now and quickly approaching 800 total episodes. The Simpsons started the boom of adult cartoons, paving the way for many other very successful series. Sorry guys, I wasn't really talking about you. I have seen less than 15 total episodes of The Simpsons, so in my last video I asked you to recommend some of your favorite episodes. You pulled through, suggesting classic after classic. I have ranked the best of the best episodes from South Park, Family Guy, and The Simpsons, and today I'm ranking 8 of your most recommended episodes of The Simpsons. We're doing 8 episodes today instead of 9. Shrinkflation has been hitting everyone hard lately. So whether you're eating a pizza, doing your daily Duolingo, or taking your monthly shower, let's get right into the ranking. If you enjoy these videos, be sure to subscribe. It's the best way to support what I do here. And it's scientifically proven to help protect you from sea bears, but not sea rhinoceroses. Please protect yourself appropriately. We also have a Discord server, and that link is below. I've never seen Primetime Simpsons before. Heck, I have hardly even seen The Simpsons. I remember that I did watch the movie at one point and I really enjoyed it. I am super excited to dive into the best that this series has to offer. It should be fun to experience peak Simpsons for the first time. Today we're going in chronological order from newest to oldest. When I say newest, I really mean it's more vintage than people who still write checks at the grocery store. Oh yeah, I reviewed Homer's Enemy in the last video, so we won't be including it in today's ranking. Leading off today's ranking, we have the Season 8 episode, You Only Move Twice. Homer's hired by Globex, requiring the Simpsons to move to Cypress Creek.
Let's watch up, Mouse.
Homer, you're trying to talk us into moving to this place.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Let's watch this.
The Simpsons abandon their house in Springfield to move on to greener pastures. The Simpsons' new house is way nicer than their old one. I don't know about you, but something seems fishy about this Globex place. Homer's ultimate dream is to own the Dallas Cowboys. I don't know who would want a rundown team with an extremely overpaid quarterback, but I do think Homer would be a step in the right direction from the Cowboys' current ownership. Bart isn't fitting in at the new school because the Springfield education system was somehow worse than the state of Mississippi's, leading him to be put in remedial class with the other delinquents. In an absolute wild twist, it turns out Homer's over-the-top boss is actually a supervillain. Homer is building a nuclear reactor to power some evil death ray that his boss, Scorpio, is building. I love this scene where Homer is repeatedly inserting his dollar into the vending machine while his boss is actively fighting James Bond. Homer ends up tackling him and James Bond gets old Yellard. Homer's family is struggling, harder than someone who puts their milk in the bowl before the cereal. Marge is turning to drinking, Lisa has a runny nose or something, and Bart is the dumbest kid in town. Meanwhile, Homer for once is actually flourishing at his new job. Homer's family ends up convincing him into quitting his job while the US military is actively raiding Scorpio's compound. Homer casually kicking a grenade away in this scene as he walks away dejectedly is extremely funny. As a parting gift, Scorpio gives Homer the Denver Broncos.
Hooray!
I would be way more excited to get the Denver Broncos, not the Dallas first round playoff exits. This episode was spectacular. A very great start to today's ranking. I enjoyed the whole story. The jokes hit, and in peak Simpsons fashion, the visual gags were abundant. It's hard to write these scripts while watching the video because I find myself missing some really good visual only jokes. This episode's going at the top of the list. Great start, can't wait to see what's next. Next on our travels through The Simpsons' greatest hits is the Season 7 episode, 22 Short Films About Springfield. The episode title alone is super interesting to me. I wonder how they'll fit 22 short stories into one episode. The writers must have better time management skills than I do. Yes, it is completely necessary for me to scroll on my phone for 45 minutes every night before bed. The episode starts as Apu is leaving the Quickie Mart for 4 minutes to party it up. This blends directly into a story about Lisa getting gum stuck in her hair. Looks like we'll just be swapping from story to story. I won't cover them all, I'll just try to hit the highlights. Some of these characters are entirely new to me, like this Dr. Nick guy. This is a good episode for a Simpsons newbie like myself to learn some of the side characters' names. The scene where Moe and Barney get robbed is a really funny section.
All right.
No, stay out of there! Stay out of there! Oh, good God, no!
Homer trapping Maggie in the newspaper dispenser was also a great bit. Simpsons fans, what's the deal with this bee guy? Is he like a cartoon character in the cartoon, or what's going on here? I feel like I'm missing something. The pastor's dog taking a brozo on the most religious guy in town's yard is a really funny bit. At some point, a bunch of the lesser used side characters arrive at the Simpsons house to give their input on how to get the gum out of Lisa's hair. Nelson also gets what he had coming to him by being humiliated by a giant guy just like Cersei did in Game of Thrones. I will not be showing a clip of that for monetization reasons. If you're disappointed by this, please go into timeout for 5 minutes after this video has concluded. It's difficult to summarize this episode since so much is going on. I really enjoyed the transitions between the stories. They usually try to use something natural to swap from story to story. I respect what they're going for in this episode, but overall I don't love it. I tried counting how many stories there actually was, and it did not feel like 22. It felt more like 8 or so. It has funny moments, but maybe I'm just too unfamiliar with The Simpsons to really appreciate it. For now, it's going below You Only Move Twice. The episode Lemon of Troy is a bit further down the ranking, sitting as IMDb's 32nd ranked episode, but it was recommended quite a few times in the comments on my last video. You guys have never steered me wrong before, except for that guy who wanted me to rank that show that shall not be named. Bart vandalized a slab of wet cement by writing his name in it, leading Marge to question the family's Springfield pride. From this, Bart gets prideful of his town and its precious lemon tree. Imagine if the people of Chicago were prideful about something productive rather than having the world's worst traffic. The kids of Shelbyville steal some lemons from the lemon tree, leading to the Springfield kids to throw more lemons at them. Oh no, is this what the kids say when I start talking?
Ah, some things never change.
Hey everybody, an old man's talking.
The Shelbyville scamps stole Springfield's historic lemon tree. Bart leads a small militia of men into Shelbyville to take the lemon tree back. Marge is flip-flopping worse than insert any politician here. First she wants Bart to have town pride, but then she doesn't want him sticking up for his town's lemon tree. Make up your mind, Marge. Bart goes undercover with the Shelbyville kids to try to get a lead on the lemon tree's location. Bart escapes once his cover is blown, leading to a sweet skateboard chase sequence. Bart eventually makes it into a zoo room with man-eating tigers and Roman numerals on the doors. The issue here is that their teacher was trying to teach them Roman numerals when they decided to walk out of the classroom earlier in the episode. Nice little callback. They find the lemon tree in a car impound lot when their parents finally find them. Homer and the rest of the Springfield parents are sick of Shelbyville's crap and decide to take the tree back with the kids. Bart tricks the impound lot driver into towing them to the lot. The scene with Homer and the guard dog had me laughing out loud.
That's okay, son. I'll take care of him. Faster, son! He's got a taste for meat now!
Springfield wins the day, saving their beloved lemon tree. Well, most of it. I now see why so many comments recommended this episode. It's a riot. Great story, great jokes, and great visual gags. It even had a callback joke snuck in there. I really love the twist of the parents uniting because the people of Shelbyville are doo-doo heads. Great episode. I'm ranking it in the top spot. Shout out to everyone who put me on this hidden gem. We're sticking in season 6 for the next episode, Homer the Great. This episode is slightly higher rated than the last, so I have good expectations. Everything seems to be going wrong for Homer. His basement is leaking, his work chair is breaking, and traffic is horrible. Lenny and Carl always go somewhere on Wednesday nights without telling Homer, so he decides to follow them. They arrive at some cult-looking meeting where most of the townsfolk are. It turns out it's the Stonecutters, and Homer wants in, but he either has to be a child of a stonecutter or save a member of the club for entry. Turns out Grandpa Simpson's a member. What convenient plot armor that was. Homer's initiated into the club, and life has its perks as a stonecutter. You get special chairs, faster ways to work, and you even get the real number for 911. Who would have guessed? For the first time in his life, Homer's feeling accepted, until Homer accidentally uses the sacred parchment as a bib, causing him to be exiled. Until it turns out that Homer has the mark of the Stonecutters, making him the chosen one. This episode has more plot armor than the entire MCU. This is also the second video in a row where I've had to look at Homer's booty cheeks.
Oh, yeah.
This Stone of Triumph gag was a great one.
Remove the stone of shame. Woohoo! Attach the stone of triumph. Oh!
Everyone's kissing up to Homer, who just wants to be accepted rather than worshipped. Homer commands the Stonecutters to use their resources for good rather than evil, leading Homer to feel more fulfilled. The Stonecutters get sick of this as they just want to drink and have fun, and they disband, instead becoming the No Homer Society. Marge reminds Homer that he belongs to their family, leading to a heartwarming ending, after Homer's initiated back into the family, of course. This episode was great. Funny moments combined with a good story about Homer not fitting in. I like the ending as well, where Homer's family reminds him that he fits in just fine with them. I wasn't blown away by this episode, but it's still pretty great. I'm going to put it under You Only Move Twice in a nice, comfy third place. Sticking with season 6 for one final episode, we have Homer Badman. The kids need a babysitter, while Homer and Marge go to a candy convention. I know I'm still young at heart because a candy convention sounds awesome. We have some funny gags at the candy convention, when Homer decides to stealthily steal a super rare gummy.
Now, this is going to take all my skill.
Homer uses an explosion to escape in a cool guys don't look at the explosion exit. Homer then goes to drop the babysitter off when the rare gummy is attached to her bosom. He peels it off and eats it, which she mistakes for him sexually harassing her. Crowds of protesters gather at the Simpsons residence. If I had a nickel for every time I saw Homer's butt in this video, I would have 2 nickels so far. That's not as many as I anticipated going into this ranking. Hopefully we can get more nickels if you know what I mean.
Hey, yo, what the fuck?
Homer goes on the show Rock Bottom and they take his interview out of context. I love how they include a clock in his interview showing how they stitched his words together.
Oh, just thinking about her, Ken. I just wish I had her. Sweet, Ken.
So, Mr. Simpson, you admit you grabbed her can.
This TV show seems about as trustworthy as people who don't make toast in their oven. That's how I do it. I don't have a toaster. The media is blowing everything out of proportion like they do, complete with dramatic reenactments and live helicopter coverage of the Simpsons house. Eventually they decide to fight fire with fire, going on public access TV. This plan doesn't work as nobody watches public access TV, but it turns out Scottish people secretly enjoy videotaping couples in their car. This is not my words, I am just retelling what the Simpsons have said. Your move, Scotland. This proves Homer's story was the truth. The most unrealistic part of this episode are news networks owning up to their mistakes and apologizing. This episode has a great message in that you can't believe everything that you see on TV. This message is somehow still relevant an entire 31 years into the future. I really like the story and the message of this episode. It wasn't quite as funny as some of the others. I'm gonna place it below Homer the Great. Not a bad episode, but not my favorite on today's rankings. Dropping further into the past, we have the highly requested Season 4's Marge vs. the Monorail. This episode's been requested more than me begging Aaron Rodgers to retire, so he won't curse my already cursed Steelers. Mr. Burns is fined $3 million for dumping toxic waste at the kids' playground, leading to a town meeting to determine how to spend the money. Marge's idea for fixing Main Street is beloved until a smooth-talking con man named Lyle shows up. Lyle convinces the town to spend the money on a monorail. Maybe I'm just really tired from being up all night with my newborn, but I actually didn't mind the song and dance in this episode. I love this commercial that is entirely directed at Homer.
Are you squandering the precious gift of life in front of the idiot box?
What's it to you?
Are you on your 3rd beer of the evening?
Does whiskey count as beer?
Homer ends up deciding to pursue a new career as the monorail conductor. Eventually, Homer is selected as the conductor of the Springfield monorail. His profile photo is quite charming and inspires a lot of confidence. Marge finds Lyle's notebook of his doodles of him scamming Springfield and becoming rich, leading to her going to a town where Lyle previously sold the monorail to. It's a ghost town. It looks only slightly nicer than the city of Baltimore. Why does Krusty's kid creep me out so much? On the monorail's first voyage, it starts to fall apart due to its cheap design. The brakes go out, leading to the monorail flying around the track non-stop. Lyle eventually gets what's coming to him when his plane diverts to one of the towns he scammed. Homer seeing Bart here as a potential anchor was amazing.
Think harder, Homer.
Eventually, a different anchor works and Homer saves everyone on the monorail. This episode was fun. In the end, Springfield still got scammed out of the $3 million, and Main Street still has a ton of potholes, but I enjoyed this episode. Some of the jokes were great, and the story was okay. Not my favorite episode by any means, but this one's good. I'm gonna place it above Homer Badman on today's rankings. Sticking around season 4, we have the episode Last Exit to Springfield. Seeing a young Mr. Burns here might haunt my dreams tonight. Mr. Burns is waging war on the employee benefits. Ralph telling the dentist here that he brushes 3 times a day is a rookie move. They know you're lying, Ralph. Nobody is brushing 3 times a day, man. Lisa needs braces, and Mr. Burns is trying to save money by dumping the employee dental plan. Homer butt sighting counter is now up to 3, if anyone's keeping track at home. If this keeps up, Baby Buck might just go to college after all. I love how Mr. Burns and Homer have a ton of run-ins, but Mr. Burns just completely forgets him every time. Homer's elected president of the union for trying to save the dental plan. There's a lot of cutaways in this episode. I've noticed 3 or 4, which seems really high for The Simpsons. Homer thinking Mr. Burns is flirting with him here while he's trying to bribe him for the union contract is hilarious.
Scratch my back, I'll scratch yours.
Wait a minute. Is he coming on to me?
I mean, if I should slip something into your pocket, what's the harm?
Oh my god, he is coming on to me.
Homer answering the door to hired goons after they tell him that they are hired goons is a great bit as well. Mr. Burns eventually invites Homer over to negotiate, and by sheer luck and misunderstanding, Homer keeps getting the best of Mr. Burns. Lisa's looking more depressed with her braces than people who willingly decide to eat at Panda Express. Poor Lisa. She always gets the worst of it in these episodes. The union eventually goes on strike. I actually don't mind Lisa's singing in this episode. Maybe I'm a changed man. The song and dance today hasn't really bothered me. Mr. Burns decides to go nuclear, causing a blackout to the city of Springfield. The union strike doubles down, united by Lisa's song, leading Mr. Burns to keep the dental plan as long as Homer steps down as head of the union. Which is what he wanted all along. Lisa's braces get fixed, and everyone wins. This is another good episode. Homer accidentally becoming a master negotiator with Mr. Burns puts this one over the top. I like the story. It felt like it was going to be a 2-part episode at one point, but they wrapped it up very quickly. I'm placing this one above Marge vs. the Monorail. A fun episode, but not my favorite of the day. Our last episode of today's video comes from Season 3 and Homer at the Bat. This episode was recommended a bit, and being a baseball enjoyer, I figured this episode would be right up my alley. I might be a bit out of my prime though. Last year I tried to play slow pitch softball, and I only lasted 3 innings into the season before injuring myself. But hey, I finished the season batting .500. Homer going from choking to signing up for softball instantly is super funny. I also love that last season was their best season ever, going 2-28. They're like the slow pitch softball equivalent of the Oakland Athletics. But Homer has a secret weapon this season. His own homemade bat that he made from a tree limb. The Wonder Bat. The beauty of slow pitch softball is that any regular guy in Homer's shape can show up and be an all-star. It really is that easy. Homer breaks out the magic bat and launches a walk-off grand slam. The most unbelievable part of this is that anyone was in the stands to watch it. Homer and his Wonder Bat are dominating like primetime Prince Fielder, while maintaining similar physiques. Mr. Burns bets $1 million that his team will beat the rival team. So he decides to hire some pro players. At first he tries to assemble a team of mostly deceased Hall of Famers, before Smithers goes and assembles a living team of former stars. A super cool part of this episode is that all the players voice their own characters. Homer and the rest of the guys are bummed that they can't play in the championship game. I didn't really think of a Homer has been hitting Homer's joke, and now I feel like it's too late. Roger Clemens underhanding a pitch that destroys Homer's Wonder Bat is tragic. I also really love this clip of Roger Clemens telling Homer that he made the team, not realizing who Homer was.
Did I make the team?
You sure did.
I did! Woohoo! Woohoo! In your face, Strawberry!
Wait a minute, are you Ken Griffey Jr.?
Unfortunately, on the day of the game, 8 separate tragedies occur, resulting in Mr. Burns having to trot out the original team. Well, everyone except for Darryl Strawberry, who plays Homer's position. Mr. Burns in the bottom of the 9th plays the analytics, removing Darryl Strawberry for a righty to face the left-handed pitcher. I'm not sure this matters in slow pitch softball, and Darryl Strawberry had 9 home runs, but hey, sometimes you gotta play the numbers. Homer steps up to the plate and gets drilled by the pitcher, causing Springfield to win the city championship. Damn, I actually love this episode. Maybe I'm just a sucker for sports-themed episodes, and baseball moves it up another level further. The story is great, the episode is funny, and the voice actors were a nice touch. I'm putting this one at the top of my list. If I wasn't such a huge baseball fan, I think this episode would be 3 or 4, but this episode just hit all the right notes for me. The best of the best episode from today's ranking was the one we just watched, Homer at the Bat. If I was to eliminate this episode due to any potential personal bias, Lemon of Troy would fit in perfectly as the new best of the best. I'm happy with either of those being at the top of the list. My all-time favorite episode is still Homer's Enemy. I covered that episode in the last video. Of the 8 episodes, the only one I didn't really enjoy was 22 short films about Springfield. Something about that episode just didn't click for me. Maybe it was my lack of knowledge of The Simpsons and its side characters. The other 7 episodes though, I highly recommend checking out if you haven't already. If you want to see more content like this, feel free to suggest episodes, shows, or specific ranking ideas you would like in the comments below. And lastly, consider subscribing. It's the best way to support what I do here, and make sure I get my daily dose of dopamine. A link to our Discord is below, where we are on a quest to count to 1 million, one chat message at a time. Feel free to join. Also, any video from here on out, I'll be shouting out any and all channel members, so thank you to the following. Thanks for watching.